Okay, guys, I'm here today with Luis Heredia. Huge honor for me. Guys, Luis, he came to America in 1986. We think he was the first purple belt in Jiu-Jitsu in America, and he is the first or second person to get the black belt from Rickson Gracie in the United States. And so he has been doing Jiu-Jitsu for this very long time under Rickson Gracie. And nowadays he lives in Hawaii since the 2000, right, Luis?
Since 2000.
Yeah, and from, I think like in this old school Jiu-Jitsu, he's one of the most well-known Jiu-Jitsu instructors out there. And we have one instructional video with him, and we just made another one. And the first one was amazing, people loved it. Was all about like kind of like the theory of Jiu-Jitsu, the fundamentals of Jiu-Jitsu. And this one right now, it's about arm bars and chokes. But Luis, I'm very curious to hear all the stories from in 1986 when you came here, right?
Yeah, I was thinking, like I was saying to Bernardo right now, I finished my first day of filming here at IBJJF Fanatics, which, by the way, before we start this whole thing, I thank you, Bernardo, thank Mr. Michael Zenga, thanks Alex, thanks for all the crew, all this amazing people that they have here in the setup that IBJJF Fanatics is offered to everybody that comes in films and helps to share, to spread Jiu-Jitsu. All we're doing is my idea to come here and make a DVD again with you guys. It's just not, I had a great experience the first time, plus it was very beneficial to me and to everybody that bought the video. I got so much positive feedback from the video that because when you do something that it's from your heart, again, I came here, I do jiu-jitsu from my heart, from day one. It was, we can talk forever here, because I think right now I got here in 1986, and there was no jiu-jitsu school in this country, right?
Okay, right.
There was Horion Grace and Royce Grace. They were teaching jiu-jitsu out of their garage, out of their house in Torrance. So the success of jiu-jitsu started to flourish on those years, and I remember training at Gracie Maitá. I remember rolling and training, and I was good friends with Hoyler and Rickson already back in the day. But I remember like it was today, training, and then I remember Rickson walking around, looking everybody's training, and and out of the sudden he just came up to me. He's like, "Hey, my brother invited me to go to the United States to help him and Royce to spread jiu-jitsu. Man, we're gonna make a lot of money, you're gonna buy motorcycles, we're gonna do this." I'm like, I am on it. And he's like, and he said, "I'm wondering if you want to come." I said, "Rickson, I have no money, no, I don't speak English. But you know me, I got the desire, I got the heart, and whatever you tell me to do, I'll do it. You guys do it." He's like, "Okay, go take care of your passport. I'll take care of the ticket." And I remember I got to the airport, and we all know the names that I'm gonna mention to you here right now. I was started, of course, Rickson Gracie. I was a black belt. Master Romero Jacaré, great friend of mine, and I know Jacaré from back in the days in Rio, and he used to be not only trained with us a little bit, but already have his own alliance thing. So amazing story too. And then it was myself as a purple belt. That's why I say that I believe to be the first purple belt in the country, since you come to a place that there was no jiu-jitsu school. It was a garage, and there was no school. So anyways, in half Grace as a blue belt, and well, I can break this down, and already talked about this whole. It was amazing. Well, we landed in LA. Nobody speaks English. However, Horion was very kind and good, and Royce, and they always told me to focus and not focus much in the English part and focus in jiu-jitsu, since, you know, since everybody was there to learn jiu-jitsu from us. Well, I done my part. What I did is my first 2-3 months, I'm the only one I actually had to school, and I start taking English lessons right away. And it did not took me too long to kind of understand the terminology of jiu-jitsu positions like arm bars and chokes. You started like that, right? Arm bar, chokes, hold, grip, hold, all that kind of stuff. So from there, I start to build my English and my reputation. Meaning, you know, there is one thing that I like to say a lot. I've never been the strongest of my academy, but I also never been the weakest. I never been the tallest, but I never been the shortest. You know, I've been the most handsome. For sure. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I always had this. We were from Brazil, and we learned how to grind and to go after we love. So I really love jiu-jitsu from my heart. I thought it was a. So the point here is I work pretty hard. I still to this day. But it's not the work that I consider work. It's a passion. I'm so blessed that I found a passion and a mission to follow as a human being, you know, and my passion is definitely jiu-jitsu, and my mission is definitely to help as many people as possible.
That's awesome.
Of course this mentality grew up with growing older and living in United States, because on the beginning, on the first 4 or 5 years, all I wanted is train jiu-jitsu, choke people out, you know, train with everybody. We back in the day, this is history here. I mean, you know, this is true. Back in the day, from the day that we opened the first academy, which was 2-3 years after we landed, you know, it took 3 years. Throughout those 3 years, all we did was teaching in garages. I never made it one dime. I never want to. I had knowledge coming to me. I had shelter. I had food. I had everything that I need to become what I am today, you know. So sometimes you have to abdicate from money, and really you have to, you know, you have to believe. It's a word that I actually have on my, when you go to my jiu-jitsu nowadays, I have a big banner. That's me standing on top of the Haleakala. Haleakala, if you don't know, it's a volcano. It's one of the tallest mountains in Hawaii, in which I find a lot of peace all the time. It's a huge mountain that I often 4, 5, 6 times a year I hike the whole mountain by myself. I actually have a story to say. The first time I landed to Maui, my friend took me to the Haleakala, you know, and I brought my black belt. I had a black belt. I just got my black belt, and there was no stripes on the belt. So I brought that belt with me, and I rolled that belt, and I went all the way to the top of the mountain, and I hid the belt under a rock over there.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I made a wish, you know. I made a wish that I wish that I would come back to Maui. I wish that I could open one day an academy there, and I wish that I could help a lot of people. So there has been 22 years, you know, because I actually hid the belt, and I came back to LA, and I told Hickson, I said, Hickson, this is after 13 years, you know, 13, let's fast forward, 13 years later, after, you know, jiu-jitsu grew so much, I decided to move to a place that I felt closer to home, because living in LA for 13 years, you have a very good idea what Los Angeles really is. So I appreciate Los Angeles. I love Los Angeles, but I felt like moving on the same way I felt like moving from Rio, which was an amazing city. I had everything there, to venture to another situation. So I actually have no problem if I believe on something, throw myself out there because I believe.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have this beautiful banner of me on the Haleakala, and then on the banner it says, believe in Jiu-Jitsu. So that's a word that I strongly believe and use. It's a simple, it's believe. So, and what I'm basing this belief, it's most I did because it's believing on myself. You know, I came to a situation where the odds of me going back to Brazil with no money, it were really high. But I believe on myself a lot, and I believe on the cause. I believe on Jiu-Jitsu. And then I was highly influenced by the Gracie family, which I own pretty much a lot. And you know, I had the honor and pleasure of living with Helio Gracie in one of the, you know, for 6-7 months we lived together in LA. So all these things to me, they're priceless. You don't put no price, no money on it.
No, I fully agree, Luis. And I can just imagine like how many people would dream to have the opportunity to learn from Helio Gracie, which is literally impossible, right? And learn from Rickson,
yes,
which is still possible. But imagine like you have the opportunity to learn from both. So I would also exchange any money in the world for that. But
just 1 second, Bernardo, because I won, like, it was amazing to learn from Rickson, and it was amazing to learn from Helio. But I want to point out something, that Rickson and Helio and Royler, they pretty much, they not only taught me, they guide me, you know. But I have to say that I've been training Jiu-Jitsu with so many people that along the way been helping me, showing me things. So I still, to this day, I'm very open-mind parachute. My mind is always trying to capture learning from everywhere, from Alex, from Christian, from you, from white belts. Nowadays, people usually like, oh, how do you, if you don't have, you know, you're the top is the highest ranked black belt in your academy in Maui. How do you still learn in Jiu-Jitsu? Well, I still connected to my teachers because I'm still feel like a student.
Right.
Even though now I'm in the position that Helio Gracie and Rickson, all those guys were to be the guided. I'm guiding all my students. But every day, man, every time I teach a white belt class, I learn a position. And I learn from my students because my students, all the students, they have different sizes, different abilities, different qualities, different techniques, and different wonders. So sometimes a student, he comes with a question that you like, now you're obligated to try to solve that puzzle. And guess what happens? It's a lesson, right? Every time a student asks, oh, how do you do this guy 150 pounds, how do you do the Kimura? And then the 200 pounds, how do you do the Kimura? I mean, the mechanics are the same, but because of the body size, they're different. And then right there, a good instructor would say, oh my God, now every time a guy of this size asks me the Kimura this way, I'm gonna teach this way, this one teach this way. So we never stop learning.
I fully agree with this. And I think that's what makes Jiu-Jitsu fascinating, because there's always something new to learn from anybody. As you said, like white belts, blue belts, purple belts, brown belts, black belts. different subjects. Could be a guard passing, could be a sweep, could be a submission, could be a grip. So I feel exactly the same every time I step on the mat. And Luis, so just to summarize, so you arrived in America in 1986. You were probably the first purple belt at that time.
I would say now to reemphasize, because it can be. Actually, I think I was the first Brazilian purple belt that came to live and work in America. Mostly for sure, because there is a guy that used to go to Brazil. His name is Chris Saunders.
Got it.
Chris Saunders is nowadays, he's a black belt, probably the same degree as mine. But I remember the day that I got asked to come, the train. I remember training with Chris Saunders in Maitá. So actually, there was a few Americans already going to Brazil to try to learn the technique from them. And I guess Chris. What's his name? I just said his name. Chris Saunders. That was Chris Halder. You know Chris Halder.
I know Chris Halder.
Yeah, there was Chris Halder, which was already training too.
Yep.
See, I'm talking Chris Halder and Chris Saunders. But guess what? They're both Brazilian. I mean, they're both Americans.
I got it.
You know?
I got it.
And I think Ralph should be the first Brazilian blue belt in this country, so
Ralph came as a blue belt in 1986.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, Ralph came.
Oh, that's amazing.
We came together, and then we trained a lot together, and then then they decided they stayed for some time, and then Ralph went back to Brazil, trained a lot over there, got his black belt over there, and some guys came back. Royler went back to Brazil. I never had that luxury, and I never had the desire to go back. Even though I told my parents that I just came to spend a year. I mean, I already suffer too much. I already sweat too much to build my name, to go back again, to come back. So I never went back, and I think it was a very smart and good decision on my part. I stay in the United States and believe and invest and see how huge and witness firsthand how huge this sport grew, not only in the United States but all over the world.
Yeah, no, but I really appreciate it, because for sure you're one of the people who helped Jiu-Jitsu to grow in America, because you came in 1986,
and I never
left. 100% sure you were one of the people the most responsible to grow Jiu-Jitsu in Hawaii, which is
today guys, I want to make already an open invitation here to please come and visit us in Maui, Hawaii. Like I said, with the experience that I had arriving in the United States with no academy and bringing an academy out of a garage, I knew I could do the same. I know I can do the same anywhere I go in this world. If you give me a garage to teach, in 1 year, I'm gonna have plenty of people to open a school. So if you believe, if you create good habits, if you know the outcome, you know. So nowadays I'm very, very proud to say, guaranteed, that if I don't have one of the biggest jiu-jitsu programs in the state of Hawaii, if it's not the biggest, it gotta be one of the biggest. It not because of, I'm not talking about proud of the size, but I'm proud of the amount of people that I reached out in my community that believe in what I do, what my instructors are. I brought Christian over here, and Christian can tell you all about the guys involved with so much positivity
for 20 years.
He's been my supporter in a council for the last 20 years. You guys will talk about it, but everybody's invited. You can check me out on maojujitsu.com. But if you come to Hawaii, and you come and have a lesson or training at Mount Jiu-Jitsu, you're gonna be pretty impressed. Not only with the facility that we built, but with this, how solid and how kind and how efficient is our program in the island of Maui. And very cool. As a matter of fact, I want to give a shout out a little bit to my instructor, my kid instructor, that he's a very dedicated. It's another student that from white belt, and this is the guy. His name is Sam. He takes care of my kids program, and you know, it's been a long time, but we just took 14 kids from Hawaii all the way to Las Vegas to compete.
That's awesome.
To compete on Nagas.
Yeah.
And we got 22 golds. So every student pretty much won both gi and no gi. We got some of them, and we brought 22 golds back out of 14 kids, and we bought 4 silvers and 1 bronze.
That's amazing.
Well, all I'm gotta say is that that's work.
Yeah.
You know, you work hard, you do good, and the most important thing, what I like is how close a good jiu-jitsu school makes a community to be. Everybody supporting each other. We are a huge family.
Yeah.
You know?
I love jiu-jitsu schools because every jiu-jitsu school, there is one guy who is a lawyer, another one who is a doctor, another one who is the funny guy, another one who is the more serious guy, the one who makes a ton of jokes. So it's really like a community.
It is a community. And you know what? Talking
and
about
the mayor.
We're the mayor. And you know what? And it's funny because beside lawyers and police officers and even a gangster that, you know, whatever.
There's the gangster too.
Right? Oh, I have a lot of, like in Hawaii, this is how lucky I am to live in Hawaii, because a lot of my students are farmers, fishermen, hunters. So I pretty much have the best quality fish, meat, veggies and fruits and you name it, you know, it's all there and everybody's sharing. Yeah. That's how cool the community is. Yeah. Hey, everybody, if you have a lot of limes in your house, you bring to the academy. Have a lot of bananas, you bring. Everybody shares. You know what we have. So that's another amazing thing from what it came out from this family that we built.
Yeah, I think Jiu-Jitsu is one of the only sports that you can actually build that. Not only sports, but only thing in life that you can actually build this outside family that. So this is really amazing. But Luis, it's been a huge pleasure for us to have you here.
Pleasure is all mine, Bernardo.
Yeah, we appreciate you taking.
I'm really happy to see you.
Crossing the world to come here.
Yeah, and well, it was a pleasure. I from here, like it's been like since this pandemic, this shutdown stuff. Like I know I've been restrained in the island, but I've been teaching a lot of it there and very focusing in get the program strong. And then the time came, the opportunity came. So it's been a year and a half that I haven't traveled. So from here, I'm gonna go to Saratoga Springs to see Ed Fabio, you know. And I'm gonna go do a seminar. I go every year. I go there. I'm looking forward to do a seminar and gonna go to another parts of the country, do a few small seminars, and then head home soon. But
oh, that's awesome.
It is a awesome pleasure. Good time. I had a great time here in Boston, and I'm very honored to work with you. And I want to congratulate you on everything you do. Not only as a Bernardo, I've been looking and watching you fight from years, and you know, you are one of the very impressive, and I try to cop and understand a lot of your half guard.
Thank you.
Right? And,
I appreciate it.
And I want to thank you once again for everything you do for me and the sport jiu-jitsu. And whenever you're doing something for me, you're actually doing for my community as well.
Thank you, Luis.
You know?
No, I appreciate it.
And they all over there, I bet they all appreciate you too.
No, I appreciate it a lot. And guys, Luis has 2 instructional videos with us. One about the pure jiu-jitsu, kind of like the fundamentals of jiu-jitsu, and the one that he just shot yesterday and today, all about chokes and armbars, and it's going to be at bjjfanatics.com, so make sure to check that out. And that's your opportunity to learn from him if you're not in Maui. And if you're in Maui, make sure to visit his school, because I'm sure you're going to love it.
Amazing. I put a lot of, me and Christian, we put a lot of love and thought. We've been thinking about this project for the last 2-3 months since we offered to come here and do it. And my idea, like I said, I'm not diverging far away too much from the pure jiu-jitsu. The idea of the pure jiu-jitsu, the first one, it was to help people with their fundamentals, you know. Once you get that foundation done, and then you can build the house, like you said, like Christian, any way you want. Jiu-jitsu is amazing because jiu-jitsu allows you to be creative, to be artistic, to use your imagination, you know. You learn one position, you adapt that position to your body type, and then you help others with, you know, how to understand how to properly use that same position with your body type. Sorry, well, what I'm trying to say is I really try to address everything that I try to do on my project. I try to address people that want to get into jiu-jitsu. Oh, cool, I can learn that. And people that actually already been involved with jiu-jitsu, you know. Jiu-jitsu, what I think about jiu-jitsu is it's such a wide subject that will never finish, will never end. And you know, well, this is what I was going to say, that every single one of us, black belt, professional, no matter who, we'll have one detail that we're going to learn from each other.
I agree.
So, you know, if we open your mind and we all open to learn from each other, I think we will have a style of martial arts that will be here for years to come. When we're no longer here, that's my goal. When I'm no longer here, I want to live like, when people look at me, study me, and say, this guy, he loved people, he loved his students, and he definitely honored and loved the martial arts that gave me life, gave me food. Not only that, this martial art allowed me to go live my dream. I live in Hawaii, you know, so, and like I said, I'm there, open, waiting, open hearts, open arms, open heart. Please come and visit us.
That's amazing. Thanks so much, Luis.
I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Bernardo. I appreciate
Thanks.
it, man.
Thank you.
Please help me out to grow my YouTube channel. Just click subscribe. And to watch more videos, just click under see more videos. I hope you enjoyed.
BJJFanatics.com. Use the promo code YouTube Faria to get 10% off any instructional video. Improve your jiu-jitsu faster.